Hello there everyone, Ash and Flash here, and welcome on into a very crazy video. Today we are looking at every single LEGO Marvel superhero set for the summer of 2025. This is everything from June to August. You guys really like these compilation videos, and I thought I would do this for Marvel because there's a lot here. I'm shocked by the minifigure lineup here, just by how many people we actually got here across these 3 months. There are so many new minifigures and new locations and so much to talk about and go over. You can find time codes and chapters down below if you want to hop around to these specific sets. Also want to thank LEGO for sending this all to me for review, as well as you guys for putting me in this position to be sent everything here. This is insane to see all together. I've had to cheat even in some places here with Doc Ock, the Chitauri, Human Torch, because I just don't have the space to display everything. It's really insane. So let's go ahead. Let's take a closer look at this whole bunch of sets. And welcome on in to a set that I have been waiting for since I was a child. Today we are finally looking at the brand new LEGO Marvel set from the Fantastic Four First Steps. It is set number 76316. The Fantastic Four versus Galactus construction figure. It has 427 pieces, retailing for $59.99 USD or $79.99 Canadian. I'm so excited for this. I love the Fantastic Four. Those films were what I grew up on, and those characters, like Mr. Fantastic, is one of my favorite superheroes. And just for years I've been saying I would give anything. I would give an entire year's worth of superheroes to get a Fantastic Four set. And here it is with Galactus. Oh my goodness. I love the box art for this as well. It's actually featuring a lot of the artwork that you see for a lot of the different promotional material. So that's really cool. You can see some of the different features here on the back of the box. But let's go ahead and let's build this set. All right, here it is built. And I honestly got very emotional building this. Like, building Galactus and just imagining back in 2013, taking the day off of school to go and play LEGO Marvel Superheroes the day it came out, get the Iron Patriot minifigure, but play through it all for Galactus at the and hearing all the lines that Galactus says in that final boss fight, and to have him here is just surreal to me. And to have one of my favorite teams from, if not my favorite team from Marvel, very nostalgic for this right now. But let's go ahead. We're going to go start with the Fantastic Four and then go to Galactus. Here is Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, my favorite member of the team. And it just, oh my goodness, so crazy to me. Love the printing here. It looks really great for the torso. It is actually the only one different than the rest of the team, but it looks really cool with the 4 printed there in the center. It's a little bit scratched, unfortunately. The difference being in the collar, that it's not white. The face looks really cool here. I think that they did a good job capturing his likeness. I like the smirk, just like you saw on the front of the box. The hairpiece is good. It should have used the Doctor Strange hair. I don't know why they didn't use that since it exists with the Sidebird printing. Would have gone a long way for sure, but thankfully that's really cheap since that hair piece and that figure came in a poly bag. But if you look on the other side, he has this big smile there as well. And that's a fun expression. I would have maybe preferred an angry fighting one, but yeah, I think this is still really cool. As for his abilities here, how they're being represented, he's got elongated legs here, and you can sort of have them stepping there, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, I don't know about that build for the boots. I think I said this before, but I would have preferred this. I think 1x2 plates there with a tile on top look more like a minifigure foot than the other build. But something else really cool that you can do with these pieces, you can actually take those 2 pieces, attach them to the legs, and then take the torso and attach it on top to make it look like his torso is actually what's stretching upwards, which I think looks really cool. I don't really like the line down the center, but it still is a cool option if you want to play around with him. Here's Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman. She looks really good. I think that they did a good job with the face that they chose. I think that that works well for her. It hasn't been used too many times in Marvel, besides Black Widow and Jane. That's the only 2, and Jane covers her face, so I think this works well. The torso underneath this hair, which I think they did a really good choice for that. The torso is shared with everybody, which is unfortunate because she definitely could have had, you know, the the female printing there on the sides to show that this is a female figure, but I get why they chose not to do that, because it's easier for them to just all use the same one. Her abilities are represented by these dish pieces attached to these superhero handles, and that's cool to represent her telekinetic powers, but I still would have really loved like an arm that's fully transparent or a leg that's fully transparent. I think that would have gone a long way more selling the effect that she is, you know, the Invisible Woman. And just because I've got it here, this is Dedra Miro's face from the new Andor set. I think this does work, especially the cheekbones there, but I think just the deadpanness, it doesn't really work for her. I think she's a little bit more expressive. You could see here on the other side with the angry expression. I think that's a little better there with the eyebrows a little higher up, but this is an option if you want. All right, so here's the thing. I already know that everybody's going to be talking about Ben the most for sure. The torso is the exact same. I think that's fine. And the only thing that I would change is the hand color. I don't like that on these gauntlet pieces underneath you've got the white gloves. I don't like that that sticks out depending on how you pose this, but I still think this is really good. He is not supposed to be a big figure at all, at all, at all. If you look at this photo here of them all side by side, recreating the image from the movie, they're all very similar in height. This piece on top actually gives him a bit more height. Something that I had an idea, since what they're doing with Reed, what if you included some plates there to actually make him a little bit taller? I think that does add a little bit of something for him. But other than that, I think that the figure is still perfectly fine. I kind of like just playing around with the gloves and almost like, I don't know, it just feels more expressive depending on how you bend this here. Like it looks like the Thing, I feel like. Obviously could have had a big torso as well, sort of something like Mr. Incredible, or they've done some other Nexo Knights, and as well as TMNT, big torsos, but this new headpiece is really cool. I love that a lot. And underneath the printing for him, he's still got those printed eyebrows, which I think is kind of funny. He's got a big smirk on one side and this angry expression on the other, which I think is perfect for the Thing. And yeah, I hope someday we do get a big fig for the Thing. But in terms of the MCU right now, this is very accurate. Here's Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, who looks really good, I think. I think obviously the torso would have been nice to have some flames or something representing him actually being the Human Torch. Maybe some transparent orange arms or legs for sure would go a long way. They exist, so why not, right? But I think the hair choice that they did for him is really good. I don't know about the face here. This has been used by so many people in the MCU, and I just don't know if that works for him. He's got a shocked, scared expression on the other side. And for his abilities, he has the Power Blast pieces, and then also this 1x2 round plate there for the legs with the flames underneath, and that'll come into effect when we actually look at the Galactus figure. But I love just swooshing him around here. Here is the Galactus construction figure, who I think looks really good for the most part, although they use a lot of dark red, and I believe that is done not for accuracy-wise, but in order to be cost-effective and not have to recolor pieces in this magenta, I think is what the official name is. So a little bit of a shame, I think, for that. It does stand out in more places than others, but it still looks amazing. One of my favorite things that I saw them doing was this person playing with him and actually walking his legs, which I think is really cool, like we see in the trailers, because it's supposed to be actually practical. Like that is the actual actor of Galactus walking through a miniature set of New York. So I think that's really cool that you could sort of do that here. It's very posable here. You can rotate the head 360 degrees. You can also bend it. I love how that looks when it's bent down. You can, of course, actually stand him on one leg here as well. If I pose him correctly, let's see. There you go. And then you can also, of course, move his arms and legs, the hands as well. The torso is also able to turn there as well, which is great. The feet are a very interesting shape here. I don't know. Again, just because it's more realistic and human-like and not like a big Lego figure. I don't know how I feel about that. I like the stud there. I think that's fun so that you can have the different figures actually attached here and sort of fighting him and trying to stop him down on his feet because they're so small. I think that's kind of fun and silly. The gray joints, I wish that was a little bit more covered up. And here's what I mean by the dark red here on the outside. This is a lot here on the side, I think because this piece doesn't exist in magenta. You can see as well over here on the back that they have a little bit more dark red, some dark red inside there. But I do like these 1x2 cheese slopes. I think that looks really good for this effect on the legs and even down below to create that little pyramid sort of there. And the other leg, it's the same thing, just inverted. Over here at the legs, this is really cool. I like when you stand him up straight and you bend the legs together, that the Nexonite shield actually sits inside of those two slopes. That's kind of cool. But the Nexonite shield there on the side looks pretty good for the legs above those slopes. I think, again, the legs look nice with those slope pieces. I love these hips there with this sort of skirt that is brick built. These are all stickers, and I tried my best to line them up so that the lines continue around there. But I think that's really cool, using these big canopy pieces there to just cover up some of the legs. I think that looks really good. You've got this piece here in the back. That is this little flap that you could raise and lower as well. And then over here on the front, you've got that same thing, but the build for that is a little different with a bar going through the hips there. Again, this piece over here on the other side, the torso looks good. I like these 3 blade pieces there. I think that's a nice little detail. And being able to turn the torso, I feel like, is a very good and simple feature. The torso on the front with that 3x3 round tile, I like that little sticker that you have there, as well as the lines that are created with the dark blue looks really great. And the different levels to this torso, I think that's a really good shaped torso here. And I've built a lot of these buildable characters, every single one we've reviewed here on the channel. But coming over here to the back, it's a little more messy. You do have a little bit of black down there in the back. And then this, I just feel like it's just a hodgepodge of colors with the magenta. Then you've got dark red underneath, and I just don't know how that really looks. This over here in the back, this is a really cool play feature, something that they introduced for the Sentinel. The idea here being that you take your Human Torch figure and attach the back of his legs there to that little clip that's attached there, and you can have him actually flying around Galactus there, which is kind of fun. I like the idea of that. And you can of course bend and turn this around if you want to have him flying on the other side. You just have to redo the clips, but I think that's a really simple fun effect that is a reason why I like construction figures that actually have to do with the films and have features like that. Something else you could do if you want to remove this, you could also actually attach him to the top of Galactus's head and have him flying around like that. This is probably more my personal favorite, is like it's almost like he's flying around his head and he's trying to like swat him there, attaching it to the side of the head. The arms are a simple build, but I like how they're inside of the shoulders there with those scale pieces up top. And you can actually move this if you wanted to, but it's sort of creating a little bit of bulk for the shoulder. On the side of the arm, you've actually got a stud there. The idea being that you could take some of the figures and have them like running up his arm to fight him, which I think is kind of fun. You've also got a sticker there on the inside on that ball joint piece, which is kind of interesting. You've got those more slope pieces being used there, and then also the hand can actually turn as well and actually go 360 degrees and also make a fist. Coming over here to the other side, another thing you can do that you're meant to actually do is take one of the Fantastic Four figures and put him in the hand there, which is really cool, just attaching to that stud in the center of the palm of the hand. And very lastly here, we've got a great head build. I think this might be one of my favorite parts here. I love the printing on this face. I think it looks great. A lot of use and ideas that I've got for that to turn this into a big upscaled figure, but the shaping of this looks really good, I think, for him. And over here in the back, you can see again a bunch of dark red being used here. That's my only gripe about this here. But the way that they built the sides of the mask or the helmet there is really, really cool. I love that. And yeah, I think that this is just so iconic, the top part of the head here, and there's a lot of posability that you saw before with this. Anyways, everyone, that is my review of the Fantastic Four versus Galactus construction figure. I love this set, and yes, there are a few things here and there, like with Galactus, and then obviously would have loved for him to be an upscaled figure. And the Fantastic Four leave a lot to be desired when it comes to no leg printing or dual molded legs, or none of their effects being represented with like Reed not having the avatar arms and legs, or transparent arms for different, all of them definitely could use an upgrade. This is still a dream come true, And for that, I will forever love this set. I will. Like, you cannot change my mind about this. When I was a kid, I was gifted a Rise of the Silver Surfer Mega Bloks toy. And my parents were like, we know that you love the Fantastic Four, but you only want Lego. But we thought we'd give this to you. If you want, you can return it. I couldn't open it. As much as I wanted the Fantastic Four, I just couldn't do it. So I returned it. And to have this now, waiting, 20 years later, is so crazy to me. Set number 76317. This is Peter Parker's apartment. It has 394 pieces. It's retailing for $54.99 USD or $64.99 Canadian. What's interesting about this is that it's actually able to connect and combine with the rest of the superheroes street that they have been putting together since January with the first Spider-Verse set. And that set, very similar piece count, and it's also got 4 minifigures. This set is actually a little bit expensive, but that's because a lot of the US prices have since gone up. But let's go ahead. Let's take a closer look at this. All right, so here is the apartment building on its own, and it's a very simple design, but I love the look of how this feels. It feels like a New York building. There are 2 floors here, like I just mentioned before, but I also really like the side here as well with all the masonry bricks scattered throughout this, but specifically this sticker here. This Daily Bugle billboard here looks so great with J. Jonah Jameson holding up this newspaper there that says Menace. But also, it's the very first cover there of Spider-Man, which I wish that we got as an actual tile in the original Daily Bugle set, but they didn't do comic books back then as a collectible. I like the graffiti as well as the mouth has been webbed up, which I feel like is a Raimi connection here, which there's another one in the set that we'll get to. I like the window designs with the dark red, as well as you've got a little air conditioning unit there, some plants growing on the balcony, but then there's 3 holes here. They're meant to actually allow you to take this big rubber web piece that was created this year. You actually just take a minifigure, put them inside, and then you connect the opposite points there so that you could web them up and attach them to the side of a wall. All right, so here on the ground floor, do got to mention this over here on the side. We've got some windows here, as well as you've also got these pegs here that we'll talk a little bit more about later on in the video. But you've got the spider here on the wall, which is another spot that you could, if you want, you could actually attach the webs to. And this piece here, this web is also there. That's one of the accessories from that pack. You've also got another air conditioning unit there, some more plants, as well as this little balcony hanging out there above the door. This 410 little sticker there that is actually a reference to where Peter Parker's apartment is in the comics. And then you just step inside by opening the door inwards. All right, so stepping inside here, there's nothing on the wall. I thought maybe a cool sticker, but no, you've got a whisk on that wall. You've got a pizza box there, as well as a frying pan, the sink. Inside each of these cupboards here is literally nothing. I thought maybe they would have included Aunt May's cookies or something, but nope. There is a table there with 2 cups as well as 2 seats for Peter and MJ to have a date. Also on the walls, you've got these superhero posing pieces there in the light gray stud with a hole in it, and that allows Peter to actually hang upside down and give MJ a big smooch. All right, so here is the second floor. You've got a computer screen there. That's a Daily Bugle Online. Venom spotted ? But it's white, so assuming it's talking about anti-venom. You've got a keyboard, Peter's camera there, as well as you've got a microscope there. Simple little build on top of this crate, which you can lift the lid up, and on the inside is nothing. I thought there would have been something cool included in there, but there's not. You've got the red seat there on this little swivel. I like the sticker there on the wall that says Science Fair, first prize. You've also got a little picture of Peter when he was in high school. And I'm just going to lift this bed here to show you. You've got this poster for Oscorp as well. Underneath the bed, there's plans for an iron spider suit, as well as a little sticky with a spider on it. And when you lower it there, you could see that you've also got a video game controller. I really was confused why this wall is inverted. I think it might have to do with maybe down the line when you're putting this next to a building, something might be sticking out on the side. So that's why they have it inverted, but I'm not sure. I almost didn't do this because, like, most of the time, all walls have the inversion on the inside. So I don't know why they chose to do that, but maybe we'll find out down the road or when I connect it. There is actually this play feature here where if you push on the little tan piece sticking out, the whole front will actually come and explode out. And in order to fix it, you just line up this hole here and you push it forward. Just to show you here from the front what this looks like. You just push, it'll go flying. Also included are some flame pieces that you can put around once you explode the build. I feel like given the Spider-Man 2 set in the wave, as well as the Jameson reference we talked about before, I feel like this could maybe be seen as when Green Goblin blows up Aunt May's apartment and Peter's apartment to kidnap her. This whole wall section, it also can be detached from the top. That way you can, of course, continue and build up the rest of the building if you want to maybe just have, of course, just more of these stacked on top of each other. This section here is also removable. On top of that section of the roof, you've got this black grate or vent. So yeah, this completely separates into two if you wanted to. And I'll go more in depth in a separate video combining and just showing off all the different options and connections that you can have for this set. This, though, I believe always has to be on top because there's no holes on the side. So you don't have to connect it to this building per se, this top part of the apartment, but the ground floor always needs to be down below because of the Technic pins and everything. This has no holes, which I think is kind of interesting. All right, so here's everything connected, I believe as intended. At least the instructions show this part. They don't advertise it connecting to the Across the Spider-Verse set, but it is a corner. And I think that just given the design of that, I think it's this corner building over here. And it was also the first one if you go in order of these set numbers too. Well, we are going to be doing a video actually combining and connecting this and just showing you some of the different ways that you can display your new, smaller modular Marvel city. And of course, just looking at the set in between the two here, isn't it weird that it doesn't have any sidewalk? And the idea behind this is it's called an apartment, not an apartment building. And I just realized something as I was thinking about this more. You can place it on top because of, again, it fits perfectly. There's no sidewalk. The door goes inwards. And I was looking at these studs here and it hit me. You take this on top, this piece here, and what you do is you attach it like that. And now it's a guardrail for the door. That is why the door actually goes inwards and not outwards. So now you've got a full apartment building here, which is really interesting given the fact that this is almost the same height as Oscorp, which really should be a lot taller. I'm not counting the satellite dish, but this is specifically how you turn this into a apartment. This is the little spider bot walker, I guess. You can take your Spider-Man figure and place him there. You can also angle the lever so that it is in his hand. You've got a sticker up on the front there, and you've got these 8 arms around here as well that can sort of walk around. And it's cute, I guess. If you remove all the webs there, you could even have the walker actually going up the side of the building there. I think I'm going to leave it like that. Beyond that rubber web piece, you've also got all these other web pieces here included as well as a piece for the villains that I'll show you. And just going back to that rubber piece, you could even attach it to the end of those webs. Feels like we're picking on Anti-Venom a lot, but you've also got these webs that sort of act like handcuffs. Now looking at the minifigures, starting things off with Peter Parker / Spider-Man. You could see here that included is actually a face with a hairpiece as well. And this face has been used for him for a bit. He's got a smile on one side and then also on the other, this shocked or scared expression. And of course the mask is included too. Very detailed figure with the side arm printing and everything here and the back torso, all really cool. Not sure why they just don't include the dual molded legs in every single set. Here is MJ, who looks awesome. It's a bunch of reuses here, but I think it works well for like a comic book sort of generic MJ. The hair is great, really like the color, as well as the face being used is actually Hermione. She's got this smirk on one side and this angry expression on the other. The torso is actually from a Chaos Theory Jurassic World set. Would have been great to have that outfit where she's got the heart with the Spider-Man mask, but still really cool. Here's Anti-Venom, who's a new figure for this year, but it's the same one that appeared in the mech from January, which is a shame because I think a lot of people went out to get that set because of the new figure, but you can get him here with Hobgoblin. But yeah, the face looks great. The torso is incredible. It was great to get a new symbiote enemy, but there's so many to pick from that it would have been cool to get another symbiote villain here, or even just a different Spider-Man villain we've been waiting for, who's also in white and black. Here is Hobgoblin and his glider. Looks really cool, just the design here. I like the angles that it's on, as well as you've got the fire coming out of the back. And you've got sort of the guns here on the side. You've also got on the very front of it a sticker there as well. Now, the spot over here, these studs on the side, have you actually hold this pumpkin bomb. Here are the two pumpkin bombs here, which look amazing. I love that we've got two of them included here, and they've changed it up a bit where you can actually remove the flames from the head, which is kind of crazy. You can see on the back of the head, there's even some printing there too. So I'm not sure why they chose to have you be able to remove the flames. Maybe it was so that they can include some more detailing underneath. But I think some people are theorizing that it's also for Johnny here, so you can have him flame on and off, which you can't even see really the second face print on the other side. So that is very exciting. Hobgoblin stands there in the middle there with those two dark blue studs exposed. And the figure is just incredible. I mean, look at the face with those crazy eyes, the big smile. I love the Moon Knight piece here being recolored in orange, as well as the rubber cape for Batman. That's really, really great. The torso looks amazing. The legs as well. Would have been great to get them dual molded. By removing all that, you could see on the back of the head here, I am not sure if my pupils are misprinted, but you've also got a satchel printed there as well. Incredible to have Hobgoblin back here after all these years. Anyways, everyone, that is my review of Peter Parker's apartment. I think this is really fun. I love the idea that this can stack on top of the bodega. Taking that piece off the top is so smart. I'm surprised they're not advertising it more. But I'm so excited for the future of just the Marvel streets and everything. I can't wait to see what buildings and different things we could get next. In terms of the characters here, they're not the most exciting, but they're still pretty good. Especially getting comic book MJ in a set. It's been such a long time. Love the new Hobgoblin figure too. Just phenomenal there. I still think it's overpriced though for $55. Set number 76319. This is Captain America versus Thanos. This has 107 pieces and is retailing for $39.99 USD or $44.99 Canadian. The price has gone up $5 in the US, just like a lot of other sets. This is a 4+ set, sort of branded under generic Avengers, which I'm glad. This is not actually branded under Infinity Saga like they've done before, but it's a 4+ set. It's obviously overpriced, especially with that piece count. You do actually get a brand new figure in here for some reason. Let's go ahead, let's build this. Here is Captain America's Quinjet in his colors here with the dark blue and the regular blue. There is an Avengers printed A there on both sides with the pearl blue, which looks nice. As well as on the back, there are two stud shooters, which are actually really powerful here. I'm surprised by them. I don't know if I feel like I've experienced them in a set, but I'm blanking on it. But that's pretty cool. You do actually get 3 of them. You could store here in the back the extra one, as well as Cap's shield here, because of course you need to be able to have him piloting it. So you can open up the big windscreen there, which is in the transparent black, which is cool to get in a non-Star Wars set here. You've got this computer panel in there, and you just close it up and you can fly around. Nothing really going on the bottom. There's no real exhausts or anything here, no flames. I think that could have added to this being more fun for a kid. Here is the Infinity Gauntlet little hovercraft here. I think this is lots of fun. You can shoot out this giant missile there by pushing on the back red bit. You've also got a little gauntlet fist, which you can move this piece here onto the other side to make a fist. You've also got all of the Infinity Stones up there in the front, represented by those flat tiles. You've got a spot to put Thanos here to fly this, as well as the little computer panel. And in the back, you've also got a spot, if this is comic book based, this is actually the Power Infinity Stone. There's also this side build here of this rock face with, I don't know what that is supposed to be, beams or light or something like that, but you've also got a spot here to actually store the Power Stone, which is interesting because you actually get 3 in this set. So 2 here and 1 extra. I thought it would have been cool if maybe they made that the Time Stone, so that it was like, oh, he just hasn't made it there, or has he time travel and all that? That's why there's 2, or maybe a Reality Stone, he's faking that. There's ways to write this. Here is Thanos. I really don't like this figure because this torso was created for the Hulk monster truck set, and now here as well. That also means that this should have and could have been someone else, like a comic book Red Skull or something. Some other villain here would have been really great, other than Thanos, again. But anyways, the torso here. Okay, it was used in 2 sets now. You've got this face underneath
this helmet, which is cool. But I want you to just remember this, okay? They created a new piece here for this torso, despite there already existing a Thanos minifigure. And on top of that, they created a brand new Captain America. For some reason, I do not understand this. Very detailed. I like it a lot. I think it looks cool with the amount of red that you've got here on the torso. But I don't get it. It's so frustrating to me when they're reusing the Age of Ultron Captain America inside of an Endgame final battle set, or literally think of anyone from Marvel right now. Just think for a second, anyone that you wanted to have arm printing, anyone that you wanted to have a new face, anyone that you wanted to have leg printing, or heck, even a new torso like Invisible Woman to make her stand out. This is waste of the superheroes budget here. Insane to me that they chose to do this when they could have done their favorite thing and included the Age of Ultron figure here. Who cares in a 4+ set, right? Why go the extra mile, create a new torso? I do not understand it. Underneath, you've got this strap on one side and a smile on the other. This and Thanos, that's 2 prints I want you to think of, and comment down below where you would have rather spend that allocated part of the superheroes budget.
Anyways, everyone, that is my review of the Captain America versus Thanos 4+ set. It's a fine 4+ set. It's a kid set, gets the point across, but again, just didn't need to be a new Captain America figure here at all. And the fact that it has Thanos as well with the Infinity Gauntlet is kind of fun. Overall, it's a kid set. It's fine. I mean, this is really where my frustration lies with this set. Set number 76320. This is the Iron Man and War Machine versus Hammer drone set. Has 204 pieces, retailing for $22.99 USD or $24.99 Canadian. This was originally set to retail for $19.99 USD, but because US prices have gone up, this too went up a little bit as well. I'm not excited about this set. I'm not impressed by it. You've got obviously Iron Man up there on the top, as well as you can see some of the different play features here on the back as well. And the great not for sale sticker placement there. The thing that's getting me is I'm comparing this to last year's set that was actually, so if this was going to be $20, this is the same price. $19.99 USD, $24.99 Canadian. 135 pieces. This has 204 pieces. I have purchased 2 additional ones besides the one that I was sent last year for review because I wanted multiple of the Iron Legion. I wanted more Hydra agents. This is desirable. The side build as well, the Fortress build, you can actually obviously make a bigger Hydra fortress with this. So that's really cool. This, you get multiple of the drones. Then there's also only 2 minifigures in this set versus this had so many desirable figures. If a kid or a parent walks by the small one here on shelves and sees it next to the other one, they're going to be like, why is that more expensive? Look at the size of the boxes. Like, it's thicker. It's obviously bigger. You saw before. Look at it like this. It's crazy to me. And I know it's got a little bit more pieces, but then there are significantly less minifigures in comparison, and new minifigures too, because this does have 2 brand new figures for that at the time. But first, we need to just talk about the drones themselves. So the drones are not that much taller than Rhodey and Tony. So this, to me, just does not work. Like, this should have been maybe minifigures, and then they have the Bad Batch armor piece there to make them a little bit taller. And then maybe for the drone head, I don't know, maybe it's a new piece, or you print it on the Iron Legion headpiece or something like that. And I think that would work so much better. I could see people liking that more, going out of their way to actually get this set if maybe all of the pieces went towards a park build that then maybe even if you get multiple of, you can continue to expand that out and make part of even the Stark Expo, making signs or something that have advertisements for the Stark Expo, banners. The parts for that would have been much better used there, and then you could even create, using the cost of making these prints, you then put that on a torso or a headpiece or something like that. Maybe even you reuse Rhodey's legs. I don't know. There's just a lot more better usage here for what we're getting parts-wise and print-wise. You know, credit where credit is due. I was building this and I'm like, you know what? This isn't actually that bad of a build. And I get maybe them oversizing it because, again, this is a kid's toy. And then I was building, I'm like, oh, I actually really like these legs. I like the bulkiness of that. I like how they're on the ball joints there, but also the little 1x2 plate hinges there, so you can angle them as well and sort of pose this like a turret, like you see them do in the film.
But then I got to the arms and I was like, nope. Now I remember why I do not like these. This just does not work for me at all. You've got this piece here that can move side to side, up and down, and then these little hinges there as well. I do not think that works well whatsoever. I will say the choices for the drones, they did a good job picking this one. Color scheme wise, they're actually combining two sort of to make like this camo effect, which does work really well. And it's just interesting that this is sort of an army build. But anyways, the army should actually be sand green, which is the one with the big gun. And then the actual Marines is sand green. So they've sort of swapped things around here, but I get the effect that they're going for. On the chest, you've got an hammer arc reactor there, and also the heads can actually turn and spin 360 degrees. You've also got this little antenna that you can move up and down. This print here on the 1x1 tile is actually exclusive. You do get an extra, which is pretty good. I'd like to see somebody maybe make the other two versions of the hammer drones. And anyways, you've got the missile launcher there that you just push down and it'll launch out. Get an extra missile just in case you lose this one. Design of that, it's fine. Again, it can rotate there. You could even remove it as well very easily. Also, when they are destroying the drones, you could just easily dismantle them as well, which I appreciate. You could even, of course, and also destroy it, which I could see some kids enjoying doing, recreating that scene. Here is the hammer drone for the Marines, which is actually a little bit different, not just the color scheme here with the sand blue as well as the dark blue pieces, which I think gets the point across. And of course, the most interesting thing about this were the big missiles that they actually can launch out of these big shoulder pieces here, which I like a lot. It's got this simple little classic flick fire missiles there, which I think is interesting. Like, I don't remember when the last time was that I got that, but the missiles actually do launch like this. So I thought that was kind of neat that the flick fire missiles do work really well depicting that. But beyond that, you've just got the same design except for here in the back. You actually get 3 missiles included just in case if you lose one, you've got an extra. Here is Iron Man in the Mark 6, which is actually brand new for 2025. It's pretty cool. We get him in the Marvel logo and then this year's Hall of Armor expansion. So getting this here on a cheap set is pretty great. If you always wanted this, I think this is really great because especially if you are a fan of the Avengers, this also appears in that film. Now, the leg printing looks great as well as the torso with the triangular arc reactor. The helmet here can open up and you can see Tony's face underneath. You've got the regular smile on one side and then the heads up display on the other. I've been saying this for a bit, but I think we need a new face for him or a new variant to include in different sets. Back torso looks pretty cool. And then you've got all of the different accessories here for him to fly around, just like what we first got back in 2012. Included for him, though, is also the superhero little posing pieces with the lightsaber blade pieces. The combination of that is supposed to depict when he tells Rhodey to get down and uses the lasers to destroy the final hammer drones by turning and spinning really quickly. So that's kind of cool that you can depict that here. I know that some people are saying that he should be using this piece instead, but I don't think this works quite as well because you can't get that angle because, of course, Lego minifigure arms don't extend outwards. These posing pieces allow you to actually do that here. Here is War Machine, who is actually exclusive to this set. You might be like, well, no, he's in this set. He's in Avengers Tower. He's in that original new remake of the Hall of Armor. Technically speaking, it is new. The hands here are actually in gunmetal gray, which is something I didn't realize Lego had started to do. I just realized that with the Ultron set, the Quinjet, that they changed his hand color so that now it actually lines up with the rest of the figure. And that adds so much, in my opinion. That's so much better than dark gray. So for that alone, I think that is worth mentioning here, that this figure is a much needed upgrade. It is also a very cheap way in comparison to the other two sets to get this figure, so that's pretty good as well. I think it's a great figure. The leg printing is great, as well as the torso printing as well is very, very detailed. Love the helmet there, and you can open it up. And you've got this face for Rhodey, which I don't think really works for him. He needs his own. I think this would have been a great place to bring back his face with a heads-up display. I think that would have helped out this set a lot more as well. The gun here does actually have a stud shooter here, which shoots out just the transparent red stud. That is gone, wow. But anyways, it's the big gun, as they joke about here. Also, he's got some great back torso printing here. Anyways, everyone, that is my review of the Iron Man and War Machine Hammer Drones set. It's not great. Again, going back to the value before, the size before, I will pick that Hydra one any day over this. I think it's good if you don't have these characters yet and these outfits, since this is pretty new, as well as this one does have the new hands, which is great. But beyond that, this just should have been something else. And I think that that's where this set fails. Set number 76321. This is the Spider-Man versus Doc Ock subway train scene. Has 393 pieces, retailing for $54.99 USD or $64.99 Canadian. This was originally supposed to be $49.99 USD. It has 4 minifigures, a similar price point to the Bodega, the Across the Spider-Verse set that launched in January, and it's the same price as Peter Parker's apartment. It's interesting that this is overpriced as well, but anyways, this is very exciting regardless of that, because this is a Spider-Man 2 set, branded under Spider-Man 2. Insane to be seeing this in 2025. Lego Spider-Man 2 was really what was getting me into Marvel and Spider-Man back in the day, getting those original sets. So this is insane to see here. Looking at the back of the box here, you can see some of the play features and the other characters. Oh my goodness. Let's go ahead. Let's build this set.
All right, so looking at the subway car, it looks really great. I think it looks very accurate to the film. I like the sticker here on the front that says Bay Ridge. You've got a sticker over here on the side for like the actual transit. You've got a broken window there, which is a sticker, and you repeat the window design all throughout this here. I love the grills here as well. And as you come here to the other side, you've got that same sticker there, Bay Ridge, and then also another 2 stickers there as well. So the same thing's repeated. It does drive very smoothly. It's on the exact same pieces that you actually get for other trains. So you could put this on a track if you wanted to, which is a lot of fun. Also, the underbit here is very interesting. You're actually meant to detach it. I like the design with the little cup being used there in silver. But what you do is you actually remove the tan parts here, and included are these pieces here that actually spin. So what you do is you then take this again and you place it underneath. What that allows you to do is it actually allows it to turn, which is really cool. So again, you could put it on the track and actually have it move, and you could pretend that it's actually fallen off the track as well and it's loose in the city. I think that's really cool that they included that for you to change it around. Also on the side of the subway, there are handles so that you can take your 2 Aunt May and J. Jonah Jameson minifigures and place them on the side like they're holding on for dear life, which is kind of crazy. But you can also attach Doc Ock's arms there to the side as well. But the studs on top allow you to actually take Doc Ock, place him on top as well as Spider-Man, and just seeing this move, like, this is so surreal to me. So what you do is you actually remove the different panels here in the sides. I don't like how it's built. I think it needed to be 1 stud bigger, because these bow pieces constantly are either loose and then you've got to place them and push them back down. I feel like it's going to break every time I open that. Breaking that apart to show you. You've got a control panel there that's been damaged from Doc Ock. There's also that blue seat there for a subway worker, yet there isn't one included, which would have been cool. You've got all of these seats here so that you can actually put J. Jonah Jameson and Aunt May sitting inside. I think there could have and should have been more people inside. I think there should have been like garbage and other things inside of the subway, just items and food or something else. But coming over here to the back, you've got that same control panel there, but it's completely undamaged. Also, I didn't really show you it from this angle. I think it looks great with the lights. You've got a spot to actually connect this. So if you get multiple, you could actually connect them, which would be really great. So now let's show you actually catching the train. So you can take your Spider-Man figure there and you place him on those 2 studs. Then over here on the side, you actually take this brick that's on the superhero posing piece and you attach it into that groove. Then you take this web piece here and you attach it to his hand up in the front. And then you run this all the way into the back here and you attach the little superhero pose piece from the DC minifigure series. And then you attach it there on the side. It's got a little cheese slope there for some debris. Then here on the other side, you do the exact same thing. You place it in his hand here, and then you can attach the pose piece right there. to give this incredible effect of him trying to stop this. Like, that just, oh my goodness, what an iconic moment and scene. To capture this here in this set with all the webs and everything, like, that's just remarkable to me. Like, this is gonna just stay on display because it's just an incredible piece of comic book history, and capturing it here in Lego form, doing a Spider-Man 2 set. Like, I could go on and on about just how great of a set this is here.
Here is the Spider-Man figure, which is battle damaged, which looks so cool. I love the tatter marks there on the front. The back of the torso looks great, as well as the mask. I know there's a few discrepancies between it and the No Way Home one, but still looks really cool. I love how they've done that effect here on the front. And here's the expression for him trying to stop the train. I think that looks amazing there, removing the hairpiece, as well as on the other side, you can see he's got this big smile. He's so happy because, you know, he's just a kid. So here's Doc Ock, and I actually think this is the best Doc Ock figure in terms of the arms we've ever gotten. The fact that you can, of course, like you saw before, actually have him standing on top of the train, but also just the fact that there's different arms here, and the way they bend and move is just like the film. Like, it just feels so cool, and I love just playing around with this, bending them back and forth. It's just like real octopus tentacles. Like, it feels really, really impressive how they've done this. The part usages here too from Ninjago for the ends are really great. You've got claws as well as the red studs for 2 arms each, but you can also swap the feet there and have the red studs there, and he can actually still stand and walk around. And here he is without the tentacles. He's got the same face there from the No Way Home set, but they have actually updated the outfit here. So he's got that jacket on with some cool back torso printing, and it continues down into the legs. And you could see he's even got some boot printing there too. It just isn't accurate. Like, the color, I don't understand. We complained about it for No Way Home. They chose dark gray, and we were like, it's green, it's green, it's green. And then here they have it brown. Like, what the heck? It should be a different green, either dark green or olive green. Either of them I wouldn't complain about. It's just not brown. It's not gray. But the back there, he's got that angry expression that you saw before. Here's J. Jonah Jameson, who looks really cool. It's just a bunch of reuses here, but I think it works well. The torso is from The Office, as well as the face is from Harry Potter, and the hair is just Zane's in reddish brown. But I think that works well for that J. Jonah Jameson. I love his inclusion here because he was included in the original Subway chase set, so this is really cool. I would have liked for there to be some Daily Bugle newspaper or something included inside of the set. Maybe the one about Doc Ock from the Bugle, since they've been throwing those in some sets, but oh well. Here is Aunt May. I think they did a good job just using all these parts to create her. She's got this knitted sweater there, as well as this face from Harry Potter. Removing the hair here, you can see on the other side a big smile. So, anyways, everyone, that is my review of the Spider-Man versus Doc Ock subway train scene. Incredible set. Very overpriced, but I still love it for what it is. I want to go get more. I need to get more to make a longer actual subway. Would be really cool. I love the idea of this and just the customizability for this, but the fact that it is capturing this iconic moment here, the figures are really good as well. I think you've got a lot of really cool stuff in here. Would have been nice to get some more people in here, random people. Set number 76322. This is the Avengers Endgame Thor versus Chitauri set. Has 373 pieces, retailing for $54.99 USD or $64.99 Canadian. This was originally set to be $49.99 USD. So that's 3 sets this wave that were $50, and they've all gone up. It's an interesting set. It's an Infinity Saga set with a ton of characters here. And I know it's another Endgame final battle set, but I think this one's a little bit more exciting because we are actually getting a couple of firsts, a couple of fixes here. So I think that's going to excite and interest some people here. And it does connect to the one that we got back in May. Let's go ahead. Let's take a closer look. I gotta say, just up at the top, I love this set. I think that it is an excellent set for what it is. It's just very expensive. I think for almost 400 pieces, this should maybe be $35, $40. But you're still getting so many new characters in here and a few new prints that I'm surprised are even in here. But
let's go ahead and let's take a closer look.
All right, so here's the Iron Patriot mech here. This is very exciting. I think that it's fascinating what they have chosen to do here. And it's not quite your regular mech here. This is supposed to actually be an extension of Iron Patriot. And I'll show you what I mean in a second, but you can open this up and you place the figure inside and close it up. Now that's using the regular mech pieces there. This front piece here is a sticker. That is actually the exact same design that you can see on the torso of the figure. So I like that attention to detail, again, adding to the fact that this is a continuation. The hips allow you to actually turn this 360 degrees around. You've got this ingot here in the back. It's fully covered, which I appreciate for mechs. And also here, you've got down below on the legs, a lot of articulation. So ball joints there, you can bend this, turn this, and also the kneecaps there as well is a little bit of detailing too. I think that the back of the foot sticks out just a little bit, but I think it's there because of how bulky this is. It needs it for support. The shoulders here with the Nexonite shields with those stickers look great. Unfortunately, mine's a little off-centered because of how it was printed, but I still think that that adds a lot. The hands are a little too big in my opinion. I don't think that this works. It's massive. I don't even know. Like, it just looks so goofy to me. You've got these stud shooters here on the ends that shoot out these transparent flat red tiles. And I don't think I've ever had a set with this many stud shooters before. You've got one over here on the other arm. You've got two big cannons there on the shoulders. It's kind of crazy here. You can see the arm. You've got a couple of spots here if you wanted to actually have Rocket standing there. But they did specifically think of that with this little build here that you attach. You actually attach Rocket there, which I think looks and works pretty well. You could also, if you wanted to, you could remove some of the stud shooters up at the top here to have Rocket standing there as well if you wanted to have him more visible, which is definitely another option.
So there was something off about this, and I couldn't place what it was until I saw it next to the Ant-Man mech that appears in the other Endgame set. And it's the height and the size and proportions of this. It's so squished. And this is so much taller. This is the regular size for mechs. Using the Ninjago Evo legs and arms here, they make the arms feel a bit longer and more proportionate. Like when I close the hands here, I don't get the same sense of it being too oversized and bulky because as well, just the elbows and everything is a little bit thicker compared to this, which has the ball joints there, which is what we used to get, but I still think that there's just something off about this. And they're not going for a mech. They're going for an oversized, bigger version of Iron Patriot, which I don't think really works. I think that this figure instead should have just had like the Bad Batch armor piece or maybe an exclusive armor piece to give the bulkiness for that.
I know that people make fun of LEGO for making another Endgame set, but this is legitimately one of the few things that we had been waiting and asking LEGO to do for quite some time. The Chitauri Gorilla turned out really well, I think. I like the size of this. It could be bigger, but I like how they've done this. I really like the fists here as well, using these claw fingers here. Work really well to make this fist and actually have him walking around. I think that's really awesome. And the design for the head, that's actually a print there on the sides as well. This on the end is interesting, and you've also got these tooth pieces there. The head can actually turn and rotate 360 degrees. I like the gold there for the collar. That looks really cool. And also on the end of those chains, you have pieces so that Chitauri can actually pull this along. I think that is so fun that they included that. Also on the back of the torso, you've got this sticker there with some of the scales and also some fur. You've got one of the Ninjago armor pieces there in the back for the gold. And the legs as well are also on ball joints, as well as the feet there too. So overall, I think this is a very impressive, simple build. It could be bigger, but I quite like this, and I wouldn't mind getting multiple of these. And here's a little bit of the environment build, some destruction from the compound. You do have these boxes here with this 1x2, which you can store additional tiles there for the different weapons in the set. The rest of the environment build here, you've got a little portal here that's opening with this 4x4 ring. And then also here, you've got this transparent piece with this big splash piece so that you could take Thor and actually have him either jumping, flying into action, or I think the way that it's supposed to be more of is him actually landing and crashing down. I'll show you why, because if you look at these hinges over here in the back of the Endgame diorama set that we got back in May, there's actually spots for you to connect it. So I attached it, and it's back there. Can't really see it. You can move around the portals there if you want and actually have this attached. I actually had the portal in the wrong spot, so yeah, that doesn't really work. Also, don't forget, you've got to put the Ant-Man mech there. So that's sort of a dud for me. I'm actually a lot less impressed now by this. I think over here, it looks better off to that side. It sort of works, although Thor should really be front and center fighting Thanos. There should have been maybe a connection point here. And I can already hear the comments of, it's Lego, why don't you just modify it yourself? Some people don't think that way. Kids may not be there yet. This is a playset. This should be able to go where it's designed, which is one of those two back spots. Unless, I just realized, unless they're going to come up with an extension in the back. So here, I don't know. What if they come up with a way to have like a half circle this way, and it can connect to this point here and just have like a lot of rubble. All right, so here's everything all together. This is your whole Endgame final battle expansion. I guess we'll just move this up to the top here and pretend that you can connect it. But I think character-wise, like, you're getting a lot here. We're missing only a handful of people, I would say, now for getting everybody that we're waiting for. I think Professor Hulk and Ronan are the only ones we really need at this point. So maybe they could do that expansion in the back. Included as well is this Chitauri hover build here, and it's got these two stud shooters there on the front that just shoot out the transparent purple tiles. Anyways, the rest of this here, I like the shaping of this with more transparent purple there, as well as this spot in the back can actually move up and down. And having that little angle there in the back allows the figure to be arched over and flying around, which I think is cool. Of course, you do get two of these included in the set. Starting with Thor, since he's in the name of the set, he actually has the same minifigure design and printing from the Marvel logo earlier this year, which is a great figure. The difference here being that we've got the rubber cape included, which you can easily remove, and you could see the torso printing a lot better. It's all powered up, which looks really cool, matching his eyes. Also here on the back, very detailed torso printing. You could see that the hair here, it's actually in dark tan, which is fascinating compared to what we get some other places. The face does work for Endgame because this is actually him from Endgame. He's got a smirk on the other side. Stormbreaker's build, I actually like this one. I think this looks good with the piece on the back for the lightning effect. I think that adds a bit of something. Here is the new Rocket minifigure included, which looks much better than its predecessor from Endgame. I like that it's accurate here with the actual dark blue navy. It looks so much better for the torso. The tail could use some printing there like we've seen before, but the back torso you could still see there. Looks pretty detailed. The face, reddish brown, I think it works well. I think maybe some of the newer browns they should experiment with, but you've got this big gun here, which is very fitting for Rocket. And here is the Iron Patriot minifigure, who is arguably the most exciting person here in the set. I love the torso printing. You can see here on the front, again, same torso that you saw on the front of the mech. The legs are the same for the Iron Patriot that we just got in the Hall of Armor. The mask looks incredible, though. I think they really just, this goes to show the ability of this new helmet piece here and what Lego can do with it. I think they really captured the look of that. And underneath, unfortunately, he's smiling here with this expression. I think, again, like I just said in the other review and many other reviews at this point, he needs a new face with the heads-up display. That would be much appreciated. Here's the Chitauri included. You get 4 of these, and I don't mind. I think it's great to get a lot of these, whether it's for the Battle of New York or the Endgame final battle. Like, I will never complain about getting more Chitauri figures, especially when they're just additional like this. Now, 2 of them do have these stud shooters here. Again, more stud shooters that shoot out those same tiles. Anyways, everyone, that is my review of the Avengers Endgame Thor versus Chitauri set. This is essentially a battle pack. This reminds me of like what the Star Wars battle packs are today. I think this is great. Like, if we were to continue to get more Endgame final battle sets, this is what it needs to be. It now all needs to connect to that portal set and give us characters that we've been wanting, like Iron Patriot, a better rocket and all that. I think is great. Getting just a whole Chitauri thing here is just like, this is perfect to have so many of them for a final battle set. The Thor here too, it's great overall, very good, just very overpriced.
Set number 76324. This is Spider-Man versus Oscorp set. Has 808 pieces, retailing for $139.99 USD, $169.99 Canadian. I'm so excited for this. I cannot believe that we have an Oscorp building. It is also continuing out the street, which I'm so excited to combine with the first set that we got back in January, the Across the Spider-Verse set with the Spot and Miles, the bodega. And then also there's another set, Peter Parker's apartment. So I'm so excited for the future of combining and building out our Marvel streets, hopefully our superhero streets, and then also just the fact that this is Oscorp. We're getting some characters here that we've never gotten in minifigure form before, so I'm so excited about that. So let's go ahead, let's build this. All right, so first thing here that we're going to start with is actually the street, and it looks amazing to see this all side by side. This is a very big and important expansion, I think, for the whole street because it has 4 separate individual sections. Each of these 4 sections obviously are all interchangeable, so you can bring this around and move this here, and you've got a very small alleyway if that's the case, and then you can put these 2 buildings next to each other. But this one, though, is very important because it's actually a corner, which allows you then to continue the street and put more buildings down that way. But I love where this is headed. So something to note is that you can actually take the modularity of this one step further here and even remove this section here. And I think as well, it's pretty easy to remove that if you wanted to continue to expand this upwards. But I think that's supposed to be the top of a roof. But this over here, I don't think is supposed to be detached. You could see here that it'll fall apart depending on where you grab it. So you really have to be careful. You got to grab it lower. But look at this. It all comes together. I think it's designed here. Let me show you. I believe it's designed to be kept together because it is sort of themed and connected loosely to the Venom films, but also just look at the amount of studs there. That's not meant for you to be detaching it. Versus here, look at all of the tiles there, only 4 stud connections. Setting things up the way that they're supposed to be according to the instructions. I have added the Across the Spider-Verse set here because it is the corner building and it fits really well to create this street. Peter's apartment, though, is designed a little bit differently. You can see there's no street, so you're meant to actually take it and place it on top of the bodega. That's why the bodega also doesn't have a roof. And then what you do is you take this grill up at the top, this vent, and you attach it here, allowing you to have a guardrail there for the apartment, just making this feel more like a complete New York street. This is a little tall, I think. Maybe it makes Oscorp seem too small. I've seen a lot of people say that. It's deceptively big. I felt like I was like, oh, there's another floor. I was building it. I'm like, oh, there's another and another. But then seeing it side by side, it feels small. So I don't know. It feels big when you're building it, but it looks small. So here's Oscorp. You could see here just the size and scale of this next to Norman. It's kind of crazy, the size of this. It's deceptively big, I think. Maybe a big part of that is because of the antennas and cell towers up at the top. But again, just this panning shot up here. It's very exciting to have Oscorp here finally. I'm blown away by this. Like, this is a dream come true to have this as a playset. This is something that I wanted as a kid so badly growing up, especially like 2013 era when Lego Marvel's superheroes came out. And that creepy level and everything. I was really just wanting a playset like this to go alongside of the Bugle. Here it is now, all these years later, and I think it does a really good job and just capturing the look and aesthetic of that. I will say the windows, I think that maybe they should have been the darker foggy color for the glass, or
the new transparent black, I think, would look even better and sleeker for this. I really like this Oscorp sticker here. I wish I had placed it a little bit lower, but it's hard to tell with that big plate that's on. But I like the lights and everything sort of adding to the tops of this sign. The design and slope of that with all of the angled plates, even over here covering a little bit of the window, is so much fun. And you might be wondering, why is there this big web here? So just turning this around here and talking about the antenna, it's really interesting. You got a big steering wheel piece being used there, as well as just these dishes and everything. They're all in these weird colors, which I think plays into what's going on here with the Green Goblin and the sort of takeover that's happening. Now, we came back here to look at this little play feature. You just move this red dial here. So what you do is you take your Spider-Man minifigure or any of the spider people and attach them here to the webs, and then you just move the dial back and forth, and it looks like he's actually swinging through the city, which is such a fun little play feature here that I think kids are going to absolutely love. And I love the amount of distance that you're getting with that as well. Like, you really are swinging past the other two buildings if they were here. Also, I just hope that more expansions to the streets include different web swinging abilities like this. So that maybe what you can have is you could pretend that Spider-Man actually does, jumps and then attaches onto the next building. So down below here, you've got the 6x6 Green Goblin sticker, which looks so cool. It's sort of glitchy, a Green Goblin override there. You've also got this superhero posing piece there for you to take the Goblin glider and actually have him flying around outside Oscorp. And then down below here, you've got a very simple and effective little entranceway, sort of modern automatic door opening here. And then now you're inside of Oscorp. So the lobby, it's a little lacking. I think a TV screen with the Daily Bugle would have been cool, or that newscast that we get in all of the Marvel sets would be really great too. You do have the classic Marvel fire extinguisher there, as well as you've got a yellow mug behind the reception desk, which doesn't have a computer, doesn't have anything going on, which I think is a bit of a shame. There's no seats in the lobby. There's no elevator facade or anything. I know it's small, but it needed more. So a little bit higher up, you could see here that we've got them testing the symbiote or the symbiote. I'll say both for people so that they don't get mad. But it's cool. You can actually have the symbiote escape here by pushing on this red piece here. It'll launch out the panels on the front. So just to show you here what that looks like, pretty simple and effective play feature. But that is a very cool sticker there that we have, as well as you can see like the DNA. There's a symbiote tentacle there, as well as inside you've got a needle. You've also got there under the microscope a petri dish with some DNA and a spider. So maybe that's the radioactive spider that bit Peter, or one of the other ones. So here is Green Goblin's laboratory here. You could see that we've also got included 2 pumpkin bombs there, which look amazing. I love that we've got 2 of them included here, and they've changed it up a bit where you can actually remove the flames from the head, which is kind of crazy. You can see on the back of the head, there's even some printing there too. So I'm not sure why they chose to have you be able to remove the flames. Maybe it was so that they can include some more detailing underneath. But I think some people are theorizing that it's also for Johnny here, so you can have him flame on and off, which you can't even see really the second face print on the other side. So that is very exciting. Over in the back, you've got a flame actually creating some sort of serum that's above that, which is really cool. And then also over here, we have a spot that's storing the Green Goblin glider that is very easy to remove, but you could store it there. Here is the Green Goblin glider. It looks really cool. You can see you've got a couple stickers there in the back as well as on the front. It's a simple design, and Green Goblin stands in the center there on those 2 studs. So here's Norman Osborn's office. You can see over here on Norman's desk, you could see this computer screen that says Green Goblin Override, and also there's some sort of loading bar there. And on the desk as well is this newspaper that says Times Scare. And that is actually a printed newspaper from the Daily Bugle big set. So they came in a bag with 10 different newspapers, and there's a few in the set which I find interesting. We've also got this sticker here that says restricted area with a fingerprint there as well as a keypad. And on the other side as well, you could see that it's also armored off and blocked off. So I'm a sucker for two things. Number one is a good transforming feature here. So you can take your Norman Osborn minifigure and you turn the satellite there and you can have him suit up here into this Green Goblin armor, which is really cool that they have this simple play feature. I love this so much in sets, but also this gives you a place to store this suit as well. Here is the Marvelous Jewelry here, and it's got an apartment building above there for Miles, and there's a couple play features here that we have to show you. You can see all the red pieces there on the side. Here in the alleyway, we have this Daily Bugle newspaper. Again, another piece from the large Daily Bugle modular that says, "Who is Spider-Man?" Over here on the front, you've got this sticker there for 1964, which is when The Amazing Spider-Man first kicked off, as well as we've got the Marvelous Jeweler there, obviously referencing just Marvel. You've got a fire hydrant out front there in black, different design than the Marvel modulars. There's also this really great security camera build there, which I thoroughly love. That is actually the transparent black that I was talking about before. That same build, a similar build, is being used in the Arkham Asylum modular, which is so cool. As well as you've got some glass on the floor. Why do you have some glass on the floor? Well, you take this piece here, you push it forward to break out the glass panel there. But we'll walk inside the normal way here. There's no stickers or detailing there. You do have a cash register with a $100 bill on the counter, as well as over here in the corner. I love this a lot. You've got a jewel there inside. And you can see there all the glass on the floor and on top. That is from Craven actually stealing one of the jewels that you'll see later on. So here is Miles's apartment. You can see in the corner that we've got a bed for you to take Miles and place him inside, as well as you've got a really great fan build. You can see he's making some Miles Morales artwork there, a little egotistical of him. Up here on the roof, there is a little spot here for you to take your minifigures, have them stand there, as well as there's a stud there too. You've got a little chimney there, but specifically, you're meant to take this whole section off the roof. And then what you do is you take Gwen, specifically, I believe, you place her there, close it up, and then what you do is you actually, on this piece, you pull it backwards, and she'll drop down from the ceiling. So here is the mini mart and another apartment. I think it's simple, but I really like the idea of having smaller sections here for the Marvel Street. I think that's going to be very effective the more and more that we get. I like the design for this roof using this big bow piece there. That's pretty cool. You've also got this little ventilation part on top. You've got a window, some plants on the balcony there, as well as an air conditioning unit. You've got the mini mart sticker there, as well as a camera there that's webbed up that you could really move and put anywhere. So here we've got this glass door for the entranceway to the mini mart, which you step inside here. You've got this box up there, some fish food, some popcorn, and then also a little very, very tight counter, but you can place a minifigure inside there. And here is Eddie Brock's apartment. You can see we've got a chicken there, a reference to the Venom films, and sort of, I guess, the convenience store as a whole is also supposed to be that. You've got this group chat here between Venom, Anti-Venom, and Green Goblin, which I think is hilarious. You've also got the mouse pad there, and the seat. It's angled so that Eddie can sit like this. Also, over there in the corner, you've got this really cool dartboard there with Spider-Man's face. Here is this corner little section of the street. I think it looks amazing. Just the design here for the street light is really effective. I like the hot dog piece there being used. I think that the lights and just how that is built is perfect. And I don't mind if we get more of these down the line and just getting more stuff to populate the street. Down below here, we've got another one of the newspapers there, the Spider-Man No More, reference to Spider-Man 2. You've also got over here the yellow dumpster from the Superheroes Modulars, which is pretty interesting. I don't like that it's here, to be honest. I wish it was exclusive to that. Included as a pink pop can. So theorize what you will about that, but that's it. I thought maybe there'd be something more exciting in there if they are referencing the big Marvel Modulars. Here's the Miles Morales bike. Drives very smoothly. Of course, it does shoot out these two transparent light blue studs there. You've got a sticker on the front for Miles with the red. You've also got his Venom strike there, sort of lightning coming out of the back. That's kind of cool. And you've also got a spot, of course, for Miles to sit. He can't actually attach to the handles though, but it's fine. Here is Spider-Man. This is the same figure that we've been getting for a while now, but it still looks good. It's perfect, besides there not being any dual molded legs, which I don't get why they don't include. Here is Miles Morales, who looks good. It's the same suit that he got in that original mech, and it's appeared a few other places, but he's got the symbol there on the back, as well as the hood looks pretty cool. You can see the mask printing there is very detailed, like the effect on the lenses and the back head printing. Here's Spider-Gwen, or Ghost Spider. Looks pretty good. Again, exact same figure we've been getting for a while with the great hood piece there. Removing that, there's nothing on the back of the head though. Here's Spider-Woman, which is a little different than the other appearance because she doesn't have the dual molded white and black legs. But the hair here, you could see that removing it, she's got this pretty cool face there with a smirk on one side and then this angry fighting expression on the other side. The back of the torso is cool. Would have been cool to get She-Venom, but it's fine. Included as well as this big rubber web piece here. And what you do is you take one of the villains and you web them up inside. And they can sort of also be attached to the walls, which is a fun inclusion that you could web them up anywhere around the set. Here's our first ever Norman Osborn minifigure. We have gotten Green Goblin, I guess technically the Statue of Liberty one, but Norman on his own here looks really cool. This to me feels very Insomniac Spider-Man coded. I don't know if it's the hairpiece usage there and the dark orange and even the face here. Turning it around and this smirk here, I just see and hear the Peter Parker, how the hell are you? That sort of line from Insomniac, but the suit, it's fine in the face. It's all reuses from Harry Potter. It would be great if this was a dark green suit, though. I think that would have just gone the extra mile making this actually from Insomniac Spider-Man. Here is Green Goblin. Looks so cool. This is actually Harry Osborn from the comics, but still, I love that we're getting this here. It looks really cool. This piece here from Ninjago works really well, I think. And you could see the face printing is awesome. It's got some back head printing there as well. The back torso looks great as well as the front. I looked at the legs and I was like, wait a second, are those Lex Luthors? And I'm like, that would be so smart. They're using DC stuff over from January, but no, they created a brand new leg printing. Here's Eddie Brock and Venom. I love this. You know, as somebody who keeps complaining about here's Venom again, same figure. This is actually new. I know that it's a bunch of reused parts and everything here, but it's still really awesome. I think it looks great. The hair there with the new Bucky face, by the way, is so strange that we're getting it used here as well for Quicksilver. Ugh. But I love the build for the symbiote head actually coming out of his back. On the back, he's got this angry expression as well as a printed hood. So this is really cool. I like that he's here finally for the first time. Just realized there probably should have been a chocolate bar or something included in the set. And last but certainly not least, I think this is so cool. It is Kraven the Hunter, who looks awesome. I love the spear there. You can see he's stolen that gem that we talked about before. Also, he's got that fur piece that I'm pretty sure he introduced way back when, which looks really cool. The slick back hair I think works well for him. The face is actually Doctor Strange's, but the angry expression I think fits Kraven really well. The torso looks really cool. I love the belt, the lion face, the necklace there, as well as on the other side. He's got some back torso printing there too. Of course, this smirk because it's Doctor Strange. But still, I think this works really perfectly.
There you have it, everyone. That is my review of Spider-Man versus Oscorp set. I think this is just such an exciting set, just giving us a little taste of what is to come, I hope, for the future of these mini, smaller Marvel modular buildings. I like that they're more affordable for kids to experience a lighter version of what we get with the Daily Bugle, Avengers Tower, Sanctum, all that stuff. So I can't wait to see where we go from here. Again, just seeing them all side by side looks amazing. And I think the character lineup in here is really solid. However, 4 new prints in that's pretty disappointing. It's cool to be getting Eddie and Norman for the very first time, but I really would have loved someone else, maybe even a different Marvel hero in here besides getting another Spider-Woman here, removing her exclusivity just like Anti-Venom. I don't get it. It's going to teach people to just wait instead of buying the January wave, just wait for the summer. Set number 76325, this is the Avengers Age of Ultron Quinjet, has 1,131 pieces. It's retailing for $129.99 USD or $149.99 Canadian. And originally, this set was priced $10 less, but recent inflation, it's gone up. Very exciting set. It's an Infinity Saga set. It has 2 characters that we've been waiting a really long time to get back here in a new set. It's on a stand. It's a complete remodel to the original one as well. Much more accurate and color scheme and all that. Very, very exciting stuff. Let's go ahead. Let's build this set. I think we've come a very long way from the guardianship from the first Infinity Saga wave of sets. This is just incredible here. So much fun to turn and spin on this stand. It looks amazing. It can also actually have it be on an angle so that it can actually fly upwards. You could see the angle that this is on now, and the whole beam there as well on the stand is on an angle, allowing it to really feel dynamic, and you can have it actually flying upwards and rotated around just a bunch of different ways, which I think is really great. I love how that looks, and it's also connected so much stronger. Watch as I separate it here. You could see you've got those blue Technic pins there, as well as all of those red studs attached to this. And then you have to line it up with those holes in the 2x4 plate. I also like that you create this really long beam that it's connected to as well. I feel like this is much more sturdy, and it just turns and spins so easily. You could manually turn it, but I think it's just meant, the gear there is just meant to help turn things and make things move smoother. Something new for this stand is the added Technic pieces and everything here, the connection points for all of these superhero posing pieces, which I think is really fun and adds a lot to the scene. So you take Widow's bike and you place it here on the 1 stand. Included as well for Iron Man and Ultron are these 1x2 rounded pieces so that you can actually further slide the pole into the actual cylinders for them to chase each other and fly around, which I think is a lot of fun, and having Widow chase behind. And there's also included all of these studs there as well for you to take Quicksilver and have him running along as well. You've got also over here on the back 4 studs as well. While we're here, we'll just look at Widow's bike. You can pop a wheelie there, but you've got stickers here on the sides to add to the detailing, as well as here in the back. If you wanted to, you could put her sticks as well. They aren't the strongest connection there, but you could include them there. And then also, you've got the handlebars there for her to attach to, and some grill pieces inside there as well. All right, so the Quinjet on its own, you may have seen this before. I'll just show you it again, but underneath there are actually some really cool stickers on those transparent blue pieces, and underneath you've got this in coral, so that gives a really interesting effect. You've got the same thing over here on the other side as well there. Beyond that, there's nothing of note underneath except for you've got 2 stud shooters on both sides. They launch out these transparent light blue studs. Again, beyond that though, there's nothing else going on underneath worth noting. Just maybe some really great little highlights of yellow throughout this that I like. All right, let's focus on the wings here, shall we? The color scheme of this is amazing, and some of the building techniques in this I'm blown away by. So I've actually removed the peg here in the back that holds this properly on an angle, but it's remarkable the angle that that's on. You may not even notice that, right? I just want to show you how that works. So you've got all of those little clips there, and underneath you've got these bar pieces, and you line that up here on an angle, push that into place, and then you can see it's on a slight little angle there. You have a hole there as well as this little pin, and what you do is you push the pin through, and now that's holding the wing more in place. I also just want to show you up here in the front that you can actually detach this here pretty easily, just to show you the angle that this is on as well. It's not flat. It is on this incredible angle that just, you slide this right into place, clips 4 ways, and then just, you've got this incredible shape up here in the front. Anyways, coming back to the wings, I know we were saying that before, but I keep folding them and unfolding them because it's just so seamless. It's also really strong. Like, the way that this is built, I don't know what it is. It feels very stiff, but it lines up so perfectly here. I love the light gray, how that continues all the way to the tips here, and also on the bits of the wings here. You can fold it all the way to these slope pieces, so it'll stop right when they touch. So that creates just such a cool little effect to get that curve and that angle. Now, I personally don't mind stickers, but there are a lot in this set, and I don't like transparent ones because of the bubble effects that it leaves, especially on darker colors. You can't notice it here on the light gray with these little arrows and everything here, but if you look up here at the top, the dark blue ones, you can see the streaks and the lines for little air bubbles, and I try my best to push them down and get rid of them, but it's still unavoidable. This wing actually has an Avengers A, whereas the other one does not, but we've got the same stickers all throughout that. These are just inverted and reflected. I don't know if you saw before, but you've also got different colored transparent pieces here on the ends for the lights, which I think is really cool. The green on one side and it was transparent red on the other. Another really cool design here that I love is the way that these angled tiles there, the dark gray ones, are attached to those little claw pieces underneath to create that little texture and detail. The red trim here as well, how this isn't even connected on top, but it still continues this red line. I think that looks really cool. Up on the front cockpit, again, this point looks really nice. This is a printed canopy piece there on the transparent blue, but you do have two more stickers there on both sides. I really like the shaping here of the back of the body. So this whole panel, I'm just going to remove it to show you. I like that we've got like newer pieces for this model of the Quinjet, which looks great, which we didn't have obviously back in 2015. You've also got another sticker over there. I don't know if you saw before this, but that's on a 2x6 tile that's inverted on both sides. Over here in the back, you do have these little fins that you could move if you wanted to, but that's pretty detailed with all of these slopes and different angles and the Nexonite shield. You also have some more little transparent lights there. You could see the red on one side and green on the other again. For some reason, there's also coral underneath those transparent light blue tiles for the exhausts, and that gives an interesting effect, I think. I guess I was wrong when I said that we were done with the bottom. I just want to point this out. You've got this really big angled piece there, which you're going to see here as I open up the rear door, as it's called. It's got all these grill pieces and everything that looks great. And you can open this up and you can have minifigures walk up there, but also specifically from the movie, you're meant to actually have the bike come rolling out. So it's very easy. You just push the bike inside. You can also load it up from up above here as well. And with a little bit of pushing here, you can see that she'll fly on out. All right, so looking at the inside, got a lot of grill pieces there on the floor. That's so that Widow's bike can easily drive on out. But you've also got all these clips on the wall. They're there to store Hawkeye's bow as well as Widow's 2 sticks. It would be nice if somewhere in the set, unless I'm missing it, that you have storage for Iron Man's pieces so that he can fly the ship. Here on the front, you just remove this, you might have seen before, and it just connects up there on the 4 studs in the front. Again, it makes use of some of the newer bow pieces here, which looks great. This one here is actually 6 studs wide, so that's really cool. You've got a sticker here on this one wall, like schematics of the Quinjet, as well as you've got a little green transparent stud on that one side, matching the rest of the build. And you guessed it, a red one on the other side, as well as a alert that Ultron is attacking, so that's a cool little sticker. There are 2 seats for 2 other Avengers there in the back. You've also got some grill pieces acting as a ladder to get up to the next section. And up here in the front, you've got a spot to put Hawkeye inside, even with the quiver, which is great. You don't have to remove it. You've got this classic little 1x2 panel there. And then on the other side here, this screen, it's just easier if I remove it. You've got a sticker here for a targeting system. I'm very, 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 very disappointed that this set, a display piece of Avengers Age of Ultron, does not have any reference to Jarvis here about Jarvis being his co-pilot. I am so sad about that. So we're going to start with Quicksilver, who I think is the most exciting person included here, because I really was not sure how he was going to look, because obviously Ultron was inevitable to come back. We knew that it was going to happen eventually. Quicksilver, though, wasn't too sure on how, and he looks great. I really love this much more accurate color scheme here. It looks great with the sand blue. If you look at this old figure here, oh my goodness. It's night and day. The sleeve color, the face as well, just looks nothing like him. The hair, oh my goodness. This is much, much better. I love the hair. I think that the BTS hair is better, but I'll take this.
I get why they did it. It exists from Ninjago, the Han Solo hair, but the back torso printing looks great. Obviously would love some leg printing there as well, especially with the sneakers that he has. But still, I like the face. I actually think this works well. This is Bucky's face from the airport battle this year. It's being used in a couple of different places. He's got an angry expression on the other side, but I think this works well for him. And here's Ultron in the flesh, who looks amazing. Oh my goodness. This surpassed my expectations, honestly. Like, we knew that the neck attachment piece was coming back in January, and yeah, we had a pretty good feeling he was going to return, but the face is so perfect and expressive. I love the leg printing. It looks immaculate. Even some feet printing there. The torso looks great as well. The back torso, just this whole thing in silver too. The hands, I think they're silver. I'm pretty sure they're silver, which they usually are supposed to be dark gray or light gray. But that's great that that's finally happening. Removing the neck attachment piece there. Oh my goodness. Look at the head printing. It's so detailed here on the back as well. I love that we've even got like a little spot there for where he's uploading his consciousness. Like, that's so cool. Look at him there. It's so expressive. I look at this and I just hear Ultron's voice. Side by side with the Ultimate Ultron from 2015. Oh my goodness. So great. Oh, and I just noticed the hips are silver too. Like, what an upgrade compared to this original one. Yes, has the big headpiece there, but look at the back of the head there as well. It's just so much more detailed, so much more expressive than having this trans orange head underneath there. Here is Widow in her Age of Ultron outfit. I really do not understand how she's not using the hairpiece that was literally created for her back in 2015, or at least she was one of the first people to use it. It's still around. I don't get it. But anyways, removing the hair here, you could see the torso printing a lot more. It's very detailed. The legs, that's from the Avengers Tower first introduced there, and it's appearing in so many other places now. Back torso looks good. The face is fine. I think it works well for her. I feel like she's really claimed that face as her own at this point. It's even across now over in Jurassic World for Scarlett Johansson. Here is Hawkeye, who looks amazing here. I love this figure so much. Just incredibly detailed. You've got the quiver as well as the bow here from the Series 2 minifigure series from Marvel. The torso, the legs, just incredible. The face, however, does not really work, I think, for him. It's fine. It just could use a second expression. At this point, just make a face for him and then just use it everywhere, I think, just because he's in a lot of sets. And this is what the back of the torso looks like. I'm glad they don't print the quivers anymore. I think having the actual back design looks so much better. And here is Iron Man in the Mark 43. I think this needed to be the Mark 45. I really just think that it would have made this more interesting, would have fit with it being the last version of Ultron there that we're chasing. I don't really like that we're just reusing this to reuse it because it's Age of Ultron. But it's a great figure. Torso printing, leg printing looks great and all that. And you've got the helmet that looks cool. You've got the heads-up display, obviously, underneath, as well as the generic Tony Stark face there, as well as some great back printing. But no hairpiece included, which I think is a shame as well, for him to be able to take the helmet off and pilot the ship. So I think this is a real miss for this figure here. I don't have a problem with anybody else in the set except for him.
Anyways, everyone, that is my review of the Age of Ultron Quinjet set. I think they did a great job here. I think this is the best this has ever looked. I think this may be our best Quinjet. I love the display of the colors here, the folding of the wings. It's an incredible model. I think they've perfected the stand as well, incorporating the new posing. It's a lot of fun overall. Could definitely use some more characters and figures here. I would have loved to get the Cradle build with Vision here. Would have really enticed some people. Again, getting that new Iron Man armor as well. I know it's inevitable to get a new version, but still would have helped this set a lot. Set number 76326. This is the Iron Spider-Man bust. Has 379 pieces. Is retailing for $59.99 USD or $79.99 Canadian. That's a horrible price per piece ratio, not something we often talk about, but this is sort of a part of a sub-theme for Marvel that we saw launch earlier. This does come with a minifigure, despite it not appearing on the front of the box. There is one, and it is exclusive as well, which is very exciting. It's got arm printing, so supposedly at least. But anyways,
let's go ahead and let's build this set.
And here it is built. I kind of like the idea of these busts. I don't know. I do prefer the helmets though, since we have more of that to continue that collection. But we do get some really great figures here, so I'm of two minds about it. But if you want to hear my thoughts on the Iron Man one, you can check it out. But this is interesting because the design of this changes here. If you want to, instead of having it on display for the figure, maybe you have another use for that, you can actually change how the stand is built. Right before you open bag 2, you need to decide, do you want to have the straightforward one or the one on an angle like you've been seeing throughout the video? So you go ahead and flip to whatever page you want, but if you want to change it midway, it's quite simple. You've got these 2 extra pieces here, and you just have to remove the big bracket pieces there, and then I think this corner piece as well needs to be detached. So then what you do is you take this here, and you then place this in the front. So now you've got this extra piece, and this. Place it on the bottom, and now you're good to go. So I think that's really cool that they design that alternate build here for you. So I think that's really cool that they actually include extra pieces for you to swap things around and change it very easily here. Now, if you want, you could actually display this still on an angle. Maybe you want to even have no stand at all. You can pretend and just display it like this. I think that's another good option, because I think this on an angle with this line there and lining up, especially with the symmetry here in the set, I think is really cool. I love how they are including this. I know that this is something Star Wars fans have been wanting, especially with those micro ships, mini ships, whatever scale you want to call it. I really wish that they included this here. It goes one step further for adult collectibles as well. But anyways, you could see here as well, you've got this 2x6 tile there with the print that says Lego Marvel Iron Spider-Man. So here is the figure up close. And I think it's really interesting that they decided to include arm printing here. The fact that they went and decided to lock this away to an 18+ adult collectible series is fascinating to me. I like the dual molded legs. I appreciate that. Could definitely use with some leg printing there, and I wish they went one step further. But the back here, the spider arms, I don't know about that. I have a feeling it might be because maybe they thought that it was going to hit the top part here. I don't know. I think that the arms in the Endgame set is so much better than this, and I really would like to know why they chose to downgrade the arm builds. Like, this is kind of bad, I think. And just to show you here what it looks like without the arms out, you can see the back torso printing is really great too. The front of the chest is interesting. I really like how they have these gold tiles underneath the dark blue. I think that looks really good. You've got this printed piece there as well. And how you build the shoulders, and they're all just like clipped into place here. It's a very, very fun build as you continue to go up. They also include a bunch of different pieces like these ball joints so that you can't actually push it too far and that it keeps it in place, locked in. I think that's just really, really great. All of these gold pieces to create the shoulders. You've also got all these big bow pieces, some newer pieces being used. It's very impressive. Over here in the back where the arms come out of, you've got a very simple build that you could also easily remove here. But I think if you do want to remove the arms, it's probably better that you just pop them off of those little hinges. The head is interesting here. We've got a couple different printed pieces up here. We've got these 2 newer pieces as well as a Nexonite shield piece. And on the top of the head, you've got those 1x4 bow pieces too with some prints. The rest of this here, you can actually turn the head and spin it around 360 degrees, but you can also pose it and make it move back and forth as well, which I think is very expressive. The eyes are actually printed 1x2 pieces on those bright blue tiles. And also you've got the pearl blue for that really cool effect, I think, for the lenses. The arms here can actually move as well. You've only got 2. I think it would have been nice to have 4. But it's a very simple build that I'm sure you could get these pieces on bricks and pieces and maybe extend and find some way to connect them here to the back. But we've got all these 2 pieces here as well as this handle piece that they attach to. And also the bits on the end are also on these hinges too, so you can bend that up and down. The only way you can't move them is up and down because they'll snap off the back. But you can turn them a little bit here on the ends and also just sort of poke and stab downwards. So I like that they went and included that as well, sort of like what Iron Man had for the missiles. So looking at the instructions, you've got Iron Spider on the front, and you've got this reference image here on the other side. I'm going to use him here as a stand to hold this up. This is an 18 plus set, so you've got some stuff on the inside here, like, again, some more pictures, concept art, and different things. And you've got this quote here, Mr. Stark, it smells like a new car in here. So yeah, you could pause, read, and talking about No Way Home down there at the bottom. And that's pretty much it. There's no little tidbits throughout this like some other sets. Well, there you have it, everyone. That is my review of the Iron Spider-Man bust here. I think this is fun. I'm excited to see where the future of this goes. For now, though, I'm happy with these two iron ones. Again, I'm more intrigued by the future and who we may be getting here in the minifigure form, because for somebody like me, I definitely am more of a minifigure person. And I also think this is ridiculously priced, and I've just got so many other helmets that it's hard for me to get excited for sets like this.
Set number 76327. This is the new Iron Man Mark IV bust. Has 436 pieces, retailing for $59.99 USD or $79.99 Canadian, beginning on June 1st. I'm excited about this only because of, well, two reasons. One, mostly because this is the start of something new, which I'm excited by, especially the prospects of getting really cool and detailed figures. This set specifically does come with a suit that we've been waiting a really long time to get, the Mark IV. So that's very exciting. That's completing the main core suit selection that we see on display in Iron Man 3. So I'm excited about that, as well as the fact that this is a new sort of sub-theme. On the side of the box, it actually says Bust Collection. So this is clearly the start of more things to come. And of course, we saw the Iron Spider, but who knows what else?
All right, so here it is built, and I don't know how I feel about this. I think I still like the concept more than I like the actual execution of this. A large part of that still for this set is my enjoyment that there is a minifigure in here. I know that this is going to upset a lot of Star Wars fans because there's literally a spot right on the plaque for all of those buildable microships, and they just aren't including them, which I think is crazy to me. But anyways, the design of this, there are some things in here that literally I was like, okay, that's actually a really cool building technique. Do I think that it looks the greatest? Especially the face, I think, is obviously what I think most people are commenting on. But I think that it still is very impressive for how compact this is and what they actually got out of this. There's actually a few different play features which I forgot actually existed here. Specifically with the mouth there, you can open it up a little bit. You can also turn and rotate the head around 360 degrees, which makes for a really just creepy, I don't know, thing here. Looking at it from this side, I don't even know, that's just weird. I don't know if that comes across on camera, but I do like that it turns that way because the whole build is like on this sloped angle. That's why the head actually turns and spins that way. I think overall how this is built with the stand actually on this angle and the fact that you can actually rotate and spin this around, I think is actually quite an interesting design for sure. And the stand, there is actually two alternative build for that. So you've got this and then another version. So here, taking a closer look at the stand, I really love this. I think it's just very unique, the angle that this is on. But overall, I think that's really cool. Again, the fact that you can actually rotate this and angle this different ways. You do have a spot here to place the figure. And then you've also got this 2x6 here as well, with the Lego Marvel logo printed on there with the Iron Man Mark IV. So here's what it looks like, the other build for the stand. It's a little bit more boring in my opinion. It's fine for what it is for sure, but I think that just if you want to display the actual plaque, it just is, I don't know. I think maybe what you could do is just remove all of these parts here and just replace this on the bottom. But maybe just displaying this on its own, I think also is another option. I wish that maybe they included the parts for just how simple and clean that looks. And then maybe using the other parts, you can have a little side build showcasing the minifigure or something. I don't know. But the other thing for this that I just want to show you is what it looks like from underneath. Now, you can actually easily detach the whole thing if you just want to have the bust like displayed on its own without a stand. And this is the connection points underneath, just all of the black and everything built underneath. This is the base of this entire build here. The other thing that you can actually have is you can lift this up and then you turn this here and boom, got these missile launchers from the shoulder, which I think is really cool. Now coming closer to actually show you that up close, it looks
interesting, the part usage there that they've chosen for that. This is like one of those tread pieces there, and you can actually just turn that around there. You could see how you fold that back in, and then you just fold it into the shoulders. So it's always sort of seen. So I don't know about that, but I don't know how else they could have fixed that. I think maybe they could have just maybe chosen different pieces for this, but it still works. It's an interesting part. We've got some of the newer bow pieces, and I like how that shoulder looks there. I think that's pretty good. This connection point is a little too flimsy in my opinion here. I find that as I was building this, it was constantly falling off. Now, it is a display model. You're not really going to be playing with it too much besides activating this here. So I just thought that I'd mention that's a little bit too weak of a connection point. I really like the front center chest build here. The building technique for this is just on those ball joints, and you fold this in front here, but I still think that looks really good. They did experiment with some light bricks and different things before, but because they only have yellow and red, which is a shame, it just didn't really look too good. I wish maybe it was glow in the dark or something, or maybe they gave you the option to do that, but it still works. I think it looks pretty good. And again, coming over here to this side, it's just the exact same thing. All that's different here is obviously it's just reflected for the left shoulder. Up here around the neck, I just find it interesting, some of the part usage here that we've got going on with those arm pieces and then holding onto the stamps. So that's kind of interesting there, the detailing. Also the skate pieces inverted there as well is kind of neat. I do like these bows around the back there, as well as a little bit of gold there. But there's just too many gaps here, in my opinion. Like, I don't know. You can see from here, like, there's just a lot of space that I wish was probably more closed up. Also, just a lot of like studs and different things exposed over there in the back. I'm just going to remove the head, which you could do very easily. I think this piece here from Cars is very interesting. I don't mind that, but again, there's just so much exposed. I don't like that. Coming around here to the back, I actually really like how this is done. You've got this slope piece here, and then you attach one of the new clipped pieces for 2025, and when you attach it, you then have to angle those pieces to actually line up with that. So that's a really cool part usage there, I think. And you can see what this looks like in the back for the shoulder here, all the dark gray that does stick out just a bit, I think. So the head, while it does look off, it is quite impressive just how compact, again, this actually is. Let me see if I can actually separate it. You could see how this is built. You actually build in two parts. First, you build half of it here, which I think is interesting, and then you slide this on top, which I wanted to show you the eyes, how that's built. I think that's actually really cool. Again, it's a very detailed build, but it still looks a little off. I love the gold that they have chosen for this. It's just the reflectiveness is so much better than like the gold that you see over there in the back. Now, the eyes, I think, again, look pretty good. The way that is on an angle and everything. The mouth can open just to show you a little bit of a shocked expression there. More comic booky, I guess, than MCU there with the mouth open. Another thing that I don't like is this tan little piece there. I don't like how that's sticking out and that I can see that. It just should have been maybe a 1x1 tile in the other gold. I would have preferred than tan. That just sticks out a lot in my opinion there. But the shaping of the head over here in the back, it looks good. I don't know about that one black line there. But again, you can sort of see inside. I don't know if you can see that there. The inside part of the head, depending on how you look at it. So there's a few things here and there that I feel like should just be cleaned up a little bit more. Just size-wise, I thought that I should show you the original first helmet from Marvel that we got next to the new bust. Same designer, by the way, for both of them. And I just think that it's interesting, the scale of this. And now helmets are priced at the same price as this bust and without a figure. So I don't know, there's also different things that you could do with this, like the different posability options that you have with this, with moving the head as well as the shoulder and everything there. So I don't know, I think that these are a little bit more interesting than helmets in some ways because they can do more things. Here is the Iron Man Mark IV. I think a pretty iconic suit from Iron Man 2, especially with him up in the donut and everything. I love that we finally have this suit. It also completes, again, all of the suits that we had been missing. So I'm very happy about that. And the torso printing looks amazing. I think it looks very detailed here on the back and same here on the front. The exclusive legs as well. The helmet, however, is not exclusive, so that is a bit of a shame. Of course, you can flip up the facial helmet there in the front, and you got the heads-up display on one side for Tony, and a regular Tony Stark face on the other side. Mine is really misprinted there with the mustache, but I love this figure. I think that I'm going to display the bust without the figure on it, just because this figure needs to join all of the other 6 that I have on display and all the other Iron Man suits that I have. So there's going to be a video probably coming out soon talking about that more. All right, here's the instructions, and it's an interesting choice to have Iron Man on an angle there. But you can see on the back this other picture of Iron Man. And flipping through here, you can see just how they are talking about Iron Man and Tony Stark. I like the different quotes throughout this as well. I was reading a little bit before. It's not about me. I love that. It's fun that you can read about the Mark IV. After you open up bag number 2, you attach some pieces underneath to the bust, and then you build the figure. And now you have a choice to make. So you can choose to flip ahead to page 43 if you want to build the stand with the cool angle.
Anyways, everyone, that is my review of the Iron Man Mark IV bust. Again, I like the concept more than the actual execution of it. Some cool building techniques throughout this, but for me, the draw is this Iron Man Mark IV figure. That is what I am definitely most excited about in this set. Set number 76329. This is the Miles Morales mask. It has 487 pieces, retailing for $69.99 USD or $89.99 Canadian. This set's very interesting and special for 2 reasons. Number one, it's a complete replica of the set from last year for Peter Parker's Spider-Man, but also this logo up here is really interesting. That logo is actually from the Miles Morales Spider-Man PS4/5 game. So it's very strange that they decided to do that. But you can see up here on the top one of the printed pieces. And over here on the back, despite this being branded under the game, the reference images are not that. It's just from the comics and different things. So that's kind of interesting. But let's go ahead and let's build this set. All right, so here it is built, and I really like it. I loved last year's, and how could you not love this year's if you like it? Obviously, the price is a lot for what you are actually getting, but in terms of the design and just the shaping and everything here, it's really great. I love the design for the eyes. I think that is still my favorite part here. It looks great, but we're going to go through here and talk about what pieces are prints and which ones are stickers, but let's work our way up. Down below, we have the same stand and build that a lot of the helmets and different things have, so nothing special going on down here at all, but you do have this special print, of course, for the Lego Marvel logo with the words Miles Morales there. So interesting that it doesn't say Spider-Man and then Miles Morales or anything. It just says Miles Morales. All right, so looking at the face head on, again, the eyes look great with that little point there. I love these pieces for the center bits of the eyes. I think how they did that shaping is great. Those pieces in the center there, those little handle pieces to create the bridge for the nose, I think is really smart. These are prints up here. These 2 pieces, these huge pieces, which is great because putting all those stickers would be kind of annoying, but you could see over here on the side, this is actually a print for this piece, but over here on the side, we have 3 stickers there. Up top, those are 2 prints, and over here on the back, you've got more prints here. I believe this is the same piece that you can see up here on the top. So they are getting their use for some of the prints multiple times. Same with these here. Of course, these are the same on the sides, which are also repeated here. You've got those 2 prints and then stickers here reflected from the other side. And then up on the very top of the head, you could see all of these pieces are stickers here, which works well for it. I get why they're stickers. It saves, cost when you can have more stickers than prints. But I know a lot of people are going to say they should all be prints and different things, and to each their own. I don't mind placing stickers. I honestly wasn't even sure if this was a sticker or a print. I really had to look closer. You can probably see on camera easier, but let's compare the 2 now. So here these are side by side. Again, literally the exact same sets, just in different colors, like down to the piece count and everything. I think that is really interesting, really smart. It is something that specifically for the helmet collection, we had been asking LEGO to do for Star Wars, to actually release other, Mandalorian helmets and different things. So I don't get why they don't do this for more sets. I think it is very smart. I don't think they learned about the price, but for whatever reason, they've kept it at the same price. But I still think that the designs for these look amazing. I think that the eyes it's just such a great build through and through. I really just am impressed by the shaping and everything, and I think even down to what pieces are stickers on both of them, it's the same. The only difference here is the plaques, which I guess what you could do if you really want to call him Spider-Man and not Miles Morales, you could actually go and get one of those pieces and swap it out there and put it for this set here. But what do you think of these two? Are you excited that helmets are sort of sticking around? Although I have a feeling this may be the last one for Marvel since they've now got the busts. But comment down below what you think about LEGO recoloring sets like this and re-releasing them. Anyways, everyone, that has been my compilation video of the summer 2025 wave of LEGO Marvel superhero sets. I think it's very solid. There are a lot of misses here, though. I think overall, very solid, but there are a lot of different things that I would change. There's a lot of misses, in my opinion, here as well that we've talked about in each of the individual reviews. But as a whole, like, I look at that minifigure lineup, I see the Fantastic Four for the first time. I'm seeing a lot of people return, like Hobgoblin and Kraven, Quicksilver, Ultron. Really great. The Iron Spider, I know that that's a more updated one than the Endgame one, but just seeing everything here, it's really crazy. And of course, one of the biggest surprises for sure this entire wave is the Spider-Man 2 subway train set. And I love that. Fantastic Four again. Just there's so many highlights here. Things that we've wanted. Oscorp, the Quinjet updated, and now as well 18 plus sets with minifigures. Like, there's a lot here to be excited for, and I'm excited to see where the future of LEGO Marvel superheroes goes next. What's the next ship going to be on the stand? What old movie could we return to? What's going to be the next New York building? Are helmets done? More Fantastic Four sets? More busts? There's a lot here that I'm really excited for. But what do you think of all these? Which ones are your favorites? Which ones are you going to go out and get on August 1st? Thank you again to you guys for putting me in this position. Truly, it's a dream come true. Anyways, everyone, be sure to subscribe, turn the bell notification so you don't miss out on future LEGO Marvel superheroes set news and reviews just like all of these. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. Hope you all have a great day. I'll see you all in the next one.